ABC 13 Eyewitness News starts now.
Welcome to the news at 6:30. Talk about dedication. Some people waiting nearly 24 hours to speak their minds about a controversial school choice proposal. ABC 13's Liliana Pearson joining us now with more about this marathon hearing and if it will likely make any difference, Liliana.
Yeah, hey, Myra, this started at 8 a.m. yesterday. Public comment didn't start until the evening. And with so many people signed up to speak for 2 minutes apiece, that meeting, it didn't wrap up until 6:30 this morning.
Representative Schoolcraft.
Almost 24 hours later, in the early Wednesday morning hours, speakers were energized.
I hit the road at 3:15 yesterday morning to get here to see my representative represent. You have not added a single conversation to this dialogue on public education since I got here nearly 24 hours ago.
And while lawmakers tried to keep the overnight hours moving,
Appreciate y'all staying up late or early, whatever it is.
Thank you.
round after round of people mostly spoke against the education savings account legislation.
The public school system is legally required to provide appropriate services to my child and every other child. The idea of using taxpayer dollars to pay private schools that are not required to federally protect children endangers them and their families.
Lawmakers listened, but there's a very likely chance most speakers won't feel heard, according to Rice University political science professor Mark Jones.
But much of what was happening last night was purely performative. That is, it allowed opponents to get out their anger against it, state their case. But the reality is that this legislation is going to pass out of committee.
Why is it so likely to pass? Because this is a piece of legislation Governor Abbott has declared an emergency item, and enough lawmakers seem to be on board to get it done.
Governor Abbott has invested too much time, too much energy, and too much money to not let this pass. And unlike the case during previous sessions where the Speaker of the House was indifferent or in opposition to school choice, Speaker Dustin Burrows is in favor of it.
The House and Senate have different versions of the bill, so we don't know what the final legislation will actually contain. But if things go the way it's expected this session, Jones says funds would be available to around 90,000 students for the 2026-27 school year. Students would be selected through a lottery-based system. I'm Liliana Pearson, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
The House has never passed a school choice bill, but the Senate has, in fact, multiple times. Here's a look at the story. In February, the Senate passed its latest school choice proposal. It's different from the bill the House planned, but there's a similarity. Both bills would set aside $1 billion in the next 2 years for education savings accounts. That's $500 million more than the proposals that failed to become law in 2023's legislative session. Back then, Democrats and some rural Republicans voted against the proposal. Governor Greg Abbott campaigned against the Republicans who helped block his plan. He was largely successful and now says they have enough votes to pass a school choice plan.